Alright. So, check mixer and everything's working. Yep, everything is going. Good. Let's see here. Left off, completed the prologue. Basically, what I'm assuming is a Zechian plot to cause some crap to happen was thwarted by the player character. And, ship suffered heavy damage and is now stranded in some random system out in the Kronos Expanse. So, time to collect stuff and get out of this place. And probably fix a bunch of problems while we're here. Okay. Here we are. What was it to see? Tab. To see everything being interacted with. Prison date. Hello, Argenta. You want to talk about something, I remember.
Rouge Trader.
Oh, Selwyn, she moves like she's a little on edge. Said you had a personal request for me.
I indeed have a request, Rouge Trader.
Okay. Oh, this isn't being read aloud? Okay. The accursed servants of chaos who assaulted the ship took the lives of your loyal crew members. They orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defend their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valencia's territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the rogue trader could meet with the orphans? Oh, wow. Option 5. Pull the children of the head. Children's head evolution out of the walls, and its rulers carry them up the. Yeah, no formalities needed. I'll just meet with them. I will meet with them. No formalities needed. These are the children of people who gave their lives for the Von Valencia's dynasty. My consideration is the least that they deserve. I'll pass on your instruction. Thank you for taking my request to heart. Motley group of adolescents do not take their eyes off you, gazing at you as if you're a creature straight from a fairy tale. Are indeed Our indefatigable sister has been keeping an eye on these pups. Albert answers to gather children. It's hardly the Scoloprognium genium in here. We can provide the orphans ownership with adequate care and instruction. Argenta is standing to the side of the group. At your approach, she perks up and announces her voice ringing. Brave ones, the master of the ship has appeared before you, the one who guides it through the darkness of the universe by the Emperor's will. Reach your Lord Captain, the Rogue Trader of House von Valencius. Grandly addressed the group. I, the Rogue Trader and Lord Captain of the ship, speak to you now. Parents gave their lives for a just cause and brought honor to the von Valencius banners and those of the Imperium. I am proud of them, and I believe that you will become their worthy heirs. Teenagers hang on your every word with bated breath. Only a few at the far end of the row seem sullen and not particularly impressed by your speech. One of the scowling visitors with a thin scar across his face tosses his head back and says bitterly, "So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in there, dozens for you noble light, and you just give us speeches?" Quickly turns to the boy, a flurry of emotions flushed in her dark eyes, like she wants both to calm him and scold him for his impudence. If you have things to address the group. If you have things to say them without fear. I will listen. The boy smiles grimly. It doesn't matter what we say, it won't bring our parents back. It won't change our fates either. We keep slaving away on this ship until we drop and die like our old folks, or worse. When the heretics who killed your parents attacked a ship, I was there. I took command, I fought, and I repelled the assault as quickly as I could. But no war can be won without losses. You can only strive to do as within your power. As a rogue trader, his words carry the wisdom of the Imperium. Hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but nods slowly. Then he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. The bar gives a sign, and servants immediately emerge carrying packaged treats with von Valencius embolized on the wrappers. It appears that the Senescal came prepared for any contingency. That animation, are they just like tossing crap? Argenta rubs her temple pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the bay.
Greetings.
Even in stillness, Argenta radiates energy, with her dark eyes shining and a slight blush on her cheeks. She is reciting a prayer and looks at you. Only once she has spoken the final line. Flash, greetings. How did you end up on Theodore's ship? I know this was a question brought up earlier because She's a sister of battle. Those aren't common amongst rogue traders.
I first came here when I found myself in need of passage from Footfall to a remote planet. But I imagine what interests you is not that first journey, but rather what brought me aboard prior to the pirate attack. That story is complicated. It just so happened that I made a mistake. In a moment of laxity, I was ambushed by the accursed followers of the archenemy. I was badly wounded. Lady Theodora came to my aid and brought me aboard her ship, while her crew attended to me in my weakened state. It all happened not too long ago. I'd barely recovered from my wounds when the pirates struck. Truly, the servants of evil know no rest. There is no place where we can be safe from their machinations.
You mentioned making a mistake? Or where did this happen? You mentioned making a mistake.
It happens even to the best of us. My mistakes are my burden to bear. I'll find a way to atone for them.
What happened to the people who wounded you? Did Theodora's men eliminate them?
Sadly, they did not. Lady Theodora was in a hurry and chose not to stay on the planet. Her people took me to a ship while I was unconscious, and when I came to my senses, we were already flying away. How I pray to come face to face with those heretics once more, and it's bound to happen someday.
Where did this happen? What planet?
On one of the recently discovered planets in the Expanse. No one suspected that it had already been tainted by the filth of heresy. Had I known it beforehand, of course I would have been on my guard.
Could go to that planet and deal with the Chaos Worshippers.
The path to that planet was lost. All the knowledge is gone, along with the previous navigator. It would take immense effort and resources to rediscover the route. The heir to the von Valanci's protectorate must have plenty of other issues to deal with right now. Perhaps later, when the skies above our heads have cleared.
Fair enough. What was it like traveling on Theodora's ship?
I hadn't been here that long. Just one journey from Footfall, and the other journey, the majority of which I spent in the confines of the Medbay. I can't tell you much about the first voyage. I was more focused on prayers and ruminations than on the people around me, or the journey itself. During the last journey, Seneschal Viserion stood out for me. He came by several times to ask about my health. He's an honorable man and a loyal servant of the Imperium. I think he is as meticulous in his inspections of the logistic systems as he is in his inquiries about the health of the occasional sister of battle aboard the ship. But not all of Theodora's people have earned my trust. You know who I'm talking about. There is no place for Adira Tlas among the God Emperor's faithful. I'm surprised she wasn't in league with the pirates. And I'm equally surprised by how deep heresy and treason run in this place. I'm glad we all made it through that dark hour. May the day that follows be bright.
Really don't like Adira. Which, I mean, fair for a sister of battle to an unsanctioned psyker. It's about kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. Don't have any more questions. Thank you.
As you wish.
Thank you for this conversation. Till next time. Anyone else of note? I really saw it again. It was on the middle decks this time. Talk about it. Don't tell me you believe these daft rumors about the Rogue Trader's ghosts. Maybe I don't, but the rumors are coming from somewhere, so somebody must have seen something. but just want others to believe they did. Oh no, what if there's a sorceress heresy among the crew? You never know. Alright, that's all I'm seeing. To talk to of note. Christopher Parsons, just here. Trouble. Interrogator and collision. Let's go to the Lord Captain's quarters. See what's here. What's this? Glowy orb. Fine sculpture made from strange metal seems as orb being raised and light fall upon it. Trying to display weapons and mesmerize. You've never seen many of these articles before. Can I use them? I went down the polished skull of some unknown Xenos. Makes it seem like this bony face is mocking you. Is that an orc? Bolt. Will cargo merger improves your reputation with their faction. However, all inside that cargo will be lost. Okay. Okay. Did eyes of this fierce monster forever capture the fear and pain of its final moments? Oh, what's this? Unfinished letter. His chagrin is irrelevant. Vogtvir's mistake cost me too much. Years of work, tremendous resources, all wasted. He has failed at what he was supposed to do. Irreproachable at uncovering spies, and this one was a senior officer. Not about to discard him. Kunrad had served me for too long for his removal to go painlessly for the proctorate. Besides, he is no fool. He could not have seriously expected to become the next in the von Valencius line when his skills and talents as a master whispers are so valuable. Does his inheritance serve as a humiliating but instructive lesson from which he may yet learn? Cracked data slate. Binary. Final transactions with the Chartist are complete. Fiery Reckoning is now fully equipped. The object has been loaded aboard with its containment intact and placed in the forebay to ensure maximum contact with the target. Coordinates sent and received by the bridge. Target's estimated time of arrival in the system. Fiery Reckoning is crewed by a servitor Hiver. Chances out of the ship returning are minimal. Estimated time. Interesting. Okay. Kronos Expanse map. The events of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader take place in a vast region of space known as Kronos Expanse. The sector is composed of numerous star systems, many of which you'll get a chance to visit. You'll find yourself scouring the void in search of routes leading to new uncharted systems, discovering more routes as you explore the expanse. See before you is a map of one such system. Each star system contains objects you can interact with. Such objects are marked as points of interest. You ship to a point of interest, then click the mountain to initiate the event or open the planet view. Unidentified void ship. What's this? Box tries light. Master Helmsman Revor addresses you. We have here, Lord Captain. It is not very noticeable, but there's a void ship sitting in the local asteroid belt. Sure, it's quiet, like it's huddled up in there on purpose. It's not like I am surprised. The thing is more scrap heap than ship at this point. Somebody sure went to town on it. We are registering critical damage to the hull and depressurization of several compartments. Oh, there's an incoming transmission now, too. Record void ship. Hear us. The Vox transmission isn't abruptly cuts to static. Do not require assistance. Repeat, do not require assistance. Copy. Vox relays a defect voice. Keep following. They'll pass us by, won't they? Emperor protects. Captain, I am told our augurs cannot determine the allegiance of the vessel. To be brief, it is an unidentified and badly damaged vessel within an asteroid field near the Ricadiphilia colony that is refusing help, which, not to put too fine a point on it, has not been offered to them. However, can we establish communication? The vessel identified itself. Yes, Captain, connection is established. I know vessel we are receiving you. Identify yourselves. I repeat, identify yourselves. For a brief moment, the Vox only hisses and snaps, and then several voices at once start shouting over one another. Do not tell. Tell him. We are done for. This is Thunderfang. We are... One of the voices falters uncertainly and is replaced by another. A merchant vessel. Do you copy? We are a private merchant vessel. Merchant vessel? Of course they are. Damn it, where did I hear this name before? Thunderfang. Report. Damage report on the unknown vessel. Telemetry shows multiple hull breaches, most likely caused by the guns of a combat ship. Several compartments are leaking air. The bridges have been almost completely obliterated. Two of the engines are critically damaged. Somebody gave them a thrashing so solid they barely managed to limp away. Thunderfang, why can we not identify you? You can make out a hoarse and furious whispering even over the crackling static. Why? I don't know. What if? Certainly not. The whispering dies in a clear and useful voice cuts through the static. Our vessel is badly damaged. Damage is preventing the correct identification. We assure you, peaceful merchant vessel. Thunderfang does not require aid. But your vessel is badly damaged. What happened to you? Lux responds by bursting into a cacophony of sounds, words, and emotions. Someone chuckles bitterly, another swears with some foul expletives, and yet another hisses, furiously demanding that the other shut up. You manage to make out little from all this noise. We were just flying, my own business, straight out of the blue and opened fire. Miracle we could get away, and were protected. Then more fire. Who? Void only knows. Rusted our tail, bombed everything. The folks. Our folks are left without our help. We never got to them. Another thing, now stop playing games and explain again what your business is here. And this time I highly recommend the truth. Now, what have you done, idiot? It is too late now. The Fox channel is again filled with angry whispering of several voices. Whispers and stagger drowned out by a clear and slightly frightened voice. Do you copy? We are from the Fellow of the Void. We do not come here to loot on a different business, to help our own, out of jail. Do not hurt. We already had our Chronos cleaned. How about striking a deal? Our hold is full of plunder, I mean goods. In case you're unaware, Lord Captain, the Fellowship of the Void is a disorderly assembly of several dozen pirate factions in the Chronos Expanse. consider themselves above regular heretics solely because they sometimes have fox conversation with those whom they are about to board. Were it up to me, I would make them eat a salad from the macro cans to shake the scum loose from the decks. They certainly deserve it. The honey voice of the high factorum interrupts the translation with play cloth. I would wait on destroying the vessel if I were you. Although the moral aspects of their livelihood do cause some awkward questions, the Fellowship of Void remains the major supplier of goods to the local market. Perhaps you will be find dealing with them acceptable, especially in a situation where performing a warp drop is impossible. Super, I'll judge to her. Or you get across the well, strike into our house eligible goods. Sure, let's strike a deal with them. It's not like they're doing anything else. Another thing, prepare for commercial exchange. Tech, next ring tech insanity does not stack. Yeah. I'll deal with them later. Now let's see here. What do we have available? Arcodophilia, the prison plantoid. Contact with the Nevis Novelite. Well, it can be a plausible destination for an interrogator of the Order of Linos. Station's residents may tell the Rouge Trader that they are playing a host of such a guest. Interrogator must have visited in regular hours. Perhaps the planetary governor knows his present whereabouts or planned course of action. They have caught the interrogator's attention. Why is this name all scrambled? Go to the prison plantoid. And scan. Adapt to the walls of expanse. Yeah, it was assembled in accordance with the standard template and struck. The small industry complex will be deployed and practically annulled. However, it is inhospitable. The Surf clan assigned to it will devote themselves to the maintenance of its sacred mechanisms, extracting resources needed by the Rogue Trader. So yeah, let's go down to the prison world, see what's going on here. Don't really know which one to do. Another thing, but I probably should have done like Navigator Station or Menoris first, because that would make more sense to get information. But whatever, we're here now. Ah, blood on the floor. That's a good sign. So let's handle these level ups first. One rank available. Characteristic buff. Let's buff intelligence. Then I can come to here and oh, did I not get the calculated relations. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. Use persuasion, coercion, and commerce based on intelligence. So now I can ignore the fact that I have a fellowship of 25. Yeah. Boom. All those are int based. Good buffs. Alright, let's see here. What do you got? Available talents. You got a talent and characteristic buff. Alright, text point or what's it? If I take the skin, he'll pretty much be able to parry almost anything. And damage deflection from the tank. Or at least the frontliner. Let's go with thick skin. Let's put the sword's agility to get the next characteristic bonus. Because that will buff his initiative. Buffs his initiative, and I think it also buffs. So with finesse or footing when crossing initiative, dodge chance, and reaction. No weapon over dodge reduction is equal to half of their agility. Yeah, let's take it. Alright, Adira. Characteristic and common talent. Let's see here, what should I buff? Willpower's already at 60. So yeah, I'm running intelligence-based build, so you can go for a perception. Get that to the next characteristic bonus. Bias and guidance is a good buff. I don't have any enforced weapons. Or should I go for second sight? Get extra range. Or stabilizing factor, so I can actually use more abilities. Yeah, let's go for stabilizing factor. More abilities can be used. And get soldier, available characteristic. Like hitting that ballistic skill even higher. Then talent. Integrity seems like a good one, but I want to get more familiar with the combat system until I choose to rely on it. So the chance is based off of your willpower. Let's go for exploit surroundings. And then I can look into integrity next time, since cover matters more. Pretty good.
Repentance in prison is but a weak shadow of a true transformation of the soul. Only in battle, by abjuring the flesh and cloaking the soul in flame, can one earn absolution.
Sometimes it suits the Imperium's functionaries to have a criminal spend the rest of his days toiling in a pit, working for the good of the righteous, until his last breath.
Is there money to be made?
Formation.
Keep your wits
We should
about
deal
you.
with this.
Oh, trap. Affirmative. Escort, everything is calm on my end. Vakari out. And the woman stares at you, adjusting her uniform nervously. Your lordship, 1,000 pardons if I addressed you improperly. Have you come on behalf of Governor Mandara, or are you here on other business? If it's later, you ought to know there's been a riot in the local prison. It's quite dangerous here. What happened? There's a trap up ahead. Order your character disabled. If you can trap area or fails the test to disarm it, the trap will trigger, dealing damage and inflicting injuries, and all characters will necessary effect. Sometimes you'll see a trap marked with a red area and connecting to a line. The list line leads to the mechanism that controls the trap. However, your cursor over the mechanism, if the cursor changes to a trap icon, the trap can be disarmed by interacting with the mechanism. Click left mouse on the mechanism to attempt the disarm test. If you have your entire party selected, the character with the highest relevant skill score will go to disarm the trap. If the trap is marked with a red area without a dotted line, simply approach the trap, click on it to attempt the disarm test. And skills are used to disarm different kinds of trap. Okay. What happened here? It's been a prison riot on the planetoid. Sadly, it is being led by the prison warden himself, the Honorable Anathagan Castaglia. He has allied himself with the rabble that he himself was supposed to watch, and declared Riccardi Filia to be independent of the authority of the system's lawful governor. Came here as a shuttle pilot alongside the Honorable Evnine Winterscale, son of Collegios Winterscale, Rogue Trader, vanquishes the Xenos forever and triumphant over the enemies of humanity. She details enunciating every word for Overlord's title. So the son of Winterscale is here. Young Lord Winterscale wishes to speak to the warden personally. The Honorable Lord means to put an end to this lawless treason, and his escort left to meet with the insurgents, while I was ordered to await their return. Went to Riccardi Filia as soon as you could. Oh, okay. Cool. Lord Wayne. Evanine. A Lord muttered, stroking his beard. One of the distant younger offspring, yes. Much as I know about him, which means he hasn't distinguished himself in any meaningful way. Warren himself is spearheading the riot? Yes, she bites her lips. No one expected this. Master Castilia is a nobleman from a respective governor house and a vassal to House Winterscale. All of a sudden, he proclaimed that Riccardi Filia was now his personal domain, and the prisoners were his subjects, and that he would never bow to anyone again. It's pure heresy. I take it they're looking forward to a diet of sand and gravel? What kind of madman would start a revolt on a barren rock? My good young Winterscale had felt the need to parley with the dissidents. He sighs quietly. It's a personal matter. Master Castilgo, the seditious warden, is Lord Evan's childhood friend. When my lord heard of the riot, the news saddened him greatly, so he rushed here without delay. Hopes to bring his old friend to his senses, no doubt. For someone skilled by memory who prefers to talk rather than shoot and slash. She smiles slightly. You're quite white. Right, young Lord Winterscale is not his father's shadow. If he is determined to save his friend, he will try to do so no matter what obstacles get in his way. Anything else I should be apprised of before I set out? Some of the rebels have holed up in the barracks. I don't know how many, but given this is the only way through to where the negotiations are taking place, I would expect heavy resistance. Please take caution, your lordship. Lord Winterscale's guards mind the entrance so that the rebels couldn't get to the shuttle. If no more questions, you may excuse yourself, pilot. One freezes from up for asking hesitantly. Your lordship, if I may have a minute of your time. I never have dared to trouble you with a personal matter, but the situation. In any case, have you been to the capital of Rekid Minoris yet? I want to ask if you saw a man there, communications officer by the name of Jaspar. I've not yet been to Rekid Minoris, and I know nothing of those officers' fate. It's a shame. May the Emperor keep that fool from harm. Thank you for your time and your lordship. I don't dare delay you any further. Good luck to you, lordship. I will contact Lord Evan's party over Vox and inform them of your coming. Alright, disarm this crap.
The Emperor favors me today.
Ooh, chaos symbols. What fun. Our post has been vacant for a long time. There's layered dust on every surface. Soft chaos worshippers. They gave me something to shoot at.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
Hey, your virtuousness. How are you doing?
I was born to wage war against darkness. I am always doing wonderfully when danger is near. All to decay. Duty prevails.
You stupid!
Greatest, O Emperor.
Ah,
I am at your service. Let me help.
Blessed be the hand of the healer.
you know what? You can suffer with that.
I know how to take risks.
That can be your punishment for walking into the trap that I asked you to disarm. Long string of names extends beyond the heading. Top quarry workers of the cycle. The remains of a mill, one far too lavish for even the hive world, let alone a prison colony. Scraps of typical prison foods, repulsive to their senses. To the senses. Prison Diary of Etishan, Part 1. Correction. Why me? Why? I missed my 10th payment 12 years ago. 12 years. The inspector's writ got lost somewhere in the bowels of the planetary administration and Stratum and was lying there this whole time, but they made sure to remember to tack on the fines every month. By the time they found the blessed paper and finally informed me, told someone so obscene it would make take 3 generations of my descendants, if I had any, to pay it off. My fate was sailed. Trial sentence, prison. All because of some daft rotter who showed my paper in the wrong box. To be fair, I think I got off pretty easy. My bed in the barracks is about as hard as that slab of rockery I got at home. Working the quarry isn't much tougher than my old job, and the rules would take me. That said, that governs Rick and Marinaris is a bloody status by comparison. It's a strange old place. I haven't been in once yet. The guards bark orders all the time, but they never hit us. We also got this kind of inner circle of special chosen prisoners. The optimatum, they call it. If you can get in, Emperor is my witness, you get an actual day off. They let you out of your cell and into the yard by the big barracks. I tell you what, they let you rest there and feed you better than whatever swill they're giving us in the canteen. They told me it's to improve our motivation and all that, to foster a stronger desire to reform, become a worthy servant of the Imperium once more. But I know it for what it is, just a club for the warden's favorites, the same story as everywhere else. Suck up to the people in power and get some swanky perks. Say the whole thing was the warden's idea. Funny man, our warden. He looks more noble than nobility itself. Tall, groomed, teeth even. Eyes burning, boots so polished you can see yourself when you move to lick them, but that nutter doesn't much want people licking his boots. He walks around looking like he's deep in thought. Alright, with only a couple of guards at his side, and he sometimes, if you can believe it, talks to prisoners. What's your name? He asks them all quiet like. Why were you condemned? Do you feel remorse? Never even yells at no one. Never orders to have them flogged. Instead, he doles words out to the special ones. Keeps telling us things like how we should strive to make society believe in us again. Whatever you say, Master Warden. Starting tomorrow, I'll be trying to join these optimates of yours. I'm stuck in here till the day I die, and that means no return to society for me. With the Emperor's help, I might just join the ranks of the local elite.
Let us not dawdle.
Venerable Optimates, the best among us. The list is faded and the names are barely legible. Good
Rise
there.
to the top, or get left in the dust. I'll make an example out of you.
The masters demand your death!
You have been ambushed. The battle begins. Prisoner, prisoner. Grenadier guard, prisoner. Nimble, prisoner. Prisoner, 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 prisoner. I do not like the sound of grenadier. I can't get a good shot off, so... See if I can take out these two.
Each strike is a prayer.
Alright, got one of them. Please grant an additional 3 minutes for each enemy that is within her lot or was hit by her this turn. It's about to hit the demon. Won't be using this for now. So not worth it to use that now. Good run and gun, but I don't see any purpose to it at the current moment. Does it actually allow me to charge that?
It will be done.
Sweet.
One fewer target.
Hit yourself with an door. Did he miss?
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
I know what is to come.
Let's put exploits on the Grenadier Guard. And let's lightning bolt him and the other fools around him.
What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Builder creation only went up by 1, so that's cool. Dodge of 90%. Jeez. So yeah, so I think expose weakness.
On it.
Yeah, I changed it from a 49
I'll
to
make it
65% chance. And he dodged anyways.
Out of my way! Just a minor.
Seriously? Are you not gonna parry? You have like an 80% chance.
Doom! Death to non-believers! What Chaos guides me.
Am I not gonna be able to dodge or anything?
Doubt is for the weak.
Wait, something going wrong? Crap. Nope, okay. It's just a momentary thing.
Victory is imminent. I took care of this one.
Oh, you can just move with that? Okay. That's cool to know.
Show me what you've got. Gah! It's nothing. Scared yet?
Jeez.
On it.
Uh... Non contention. Perils of the war. Maybe falls unconscious and a random minor demon appears in the sucker's place. I don't think that's supposed to happen. And it's just combat, each party member suffers 1 times the demon's willpower bonus. I'll let them, whenever the demon dies, each party member gains 30 amount of time. Start of each turn. Demon's phase, all creatures around it must pass a willpower resistance test or suffer the horrors of the warp effect. Demon gains armor equal to its willpower, immunity to perils of the warp, immunity to toxic damage. This creature falls below 30, restores all its wounds. Billing decided to equip this sword, and I randomly got it.
Who if not me?
I bring ruin.
My soul shall become like fire. Ministration is a holy task. As the Emperor commands, I act.
I'm not interested. It will be done.
Stinking corpses!
Indeed.
Fire strength. I'm just gonna go for the demon for 1 round.
I serve the ruinous powers!
Time to slaughter someone.
I feel cold.
Anything else? Was that you?
Telling them angry!
Darkness consumes me.
Emperor, protect the fallen.
It's as good as done. I'll see to it personally.
Bodies decay for murder!
Mere pain won't stop me.
Faith without deeds is worthless. Eradicated.
It will be done.
Death to the weak!
Not like this.
By the manner of their death, we shall know them.
Just need to tough it out. You never stood a chance.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
Telling them angry!
Doubt is for the weak.
Maybe down, but I'm not out.
Maggots!
Load last save. Okay. Don't know when will cause a plague bear to appear. And trigger a peril of the warp unless it's just complete random chance.
Hey, your virtuousness. How are you doing?
I was born to wage war against darkness. I am always doing wonderfully when danger is near. Cast your eye there. Let's proceed. I better myself through my service. This task should have been accomplished easily.
Seriously.
What deeds await us?
Is there money to be made?
Alright, let's do this again.
You will beg for mercy, but I will grant none.
Spend none of crush the feeble.
Out of my way! Death to non-believers!
Rejoice in battle! Strike is a prayer.
Chaos guides me!
I'm here, maggot.
I need your aegis, O Emperor.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. I will do my duty. At your beck and call.
Don't let your guard down. On it.
I serve the ruinous powers.
About time someone avoided damage.
But of course. Will do. Anything else?
I serve the ruinous powers! Death to the weak!
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
I go into the Emperor's light. Freya
Let's get
is
to it.
chosen.
I should have foretold that.
Victory is imminent. It will be done.
Who if not me? I'll make
Am I
it
doing like
happen.
something wrong? Cause like this nimble prisoner is just kicking everyone's butt. There we go. This Lord over here isn't parrying crap, despite the fact he has like... He should have like a 91% chance right now.
Out of my way! Ah! Death to non-believers! Ah!
Right. Now I'll revert to more conservative tactics. One fewer target. I will do my duty.
I'll see to another enemy down. My gut tells me it's a bad idea.
No can do.
Such is the will of chaos.
Not my worst day. Yet. Ah! My place is at the fore. At your beck and call.
I'll make it happen. Who, if not me? You should have thought twice before crossing me.
High momentum.
I am your
Reduced to dust. I'll revert to more conservative tactics.
Head trauma. Creature's intelligence, perception, willpower, and fellowship are reduced by 15. Crap. Traded mono knife. Chance to inflict bleeding. Take that knife.
Keep your wits about you.
Comic Academy use different kinds of weapons, which can be prepared in advance. Open your inventory eye and prepare different weapon sets. Switch to different weapon set once combat, press X. Swapping weapon sets in combat does not cost action points. Regular knives, detox. Consumables. You have found a consumable item. Grenades, stimulants, medkits, and other consumables can be placed in quick access slots. To do this, double-click on such an item or drag it to a highlighted slot by holding this consumable item has a certain number of uses, indicating the item's description. As with most actions in combats, using consumable items spends the character action points.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Inspect the poster.
The premonition runs true.
Okay, interesting. Improved auto pistol. Well, it's better than her auto pistol. Increased. That's less range, though. Prisoner's Shank. 4 to 12 damage. What the crap? Oh, it's because it's equipped. No, it's just insane. Pages have been placed in plain view of the beds. Inside are traces of blood and excrement. Diary of Etishan, Part 2. I swear the Emperor hasn't forsaken me. So he just came down the shuttle gangway among the first batch of prisoners. Clinton, damned Willia. Former Administratum clerk. No, the clerk. The very same scum who lost a writ about the missing payment. He's the reason I'm in this hole. Don't know what they threw him in for, but I've never felt better in my life. He's not just behind the same bars as me, he's fresh meat, and I'm a venerable optimate and respected by everyone in the colony. The warden just came up with new improvement. From now on, anyone who underperforms, misbehaves, or causes trouble any other ways to be punished by the community. Specifically by the local best and brightest. Yours truly, the Optimates. Last 2 saws who failed to meet the quota were stripped naked, whipped, and thrown into cages in the big barracks. That's where they have to eat, sleep, and shit now with everyone watching. Thought to myself then, that isn't right. They've taken these punishments too far. But now, just you wait, you piece of crap. I'll get you for something. Those cages are calling your name. There are beds made from metal sheets, swinging back and forth in rusted chains. Whoever's forced to sleep on these, it would not take much for them to fall. Beds are bolted to the floor, some have been torn bedsheets and even tattered pillows.
Let us not dawdle.
Stub revolver. Black chest plate. Force grenade. Force grenade didn't seem to be behaving correctly for the Grandieri guy. I'm glad for that, because the nimble one had everything working way too well. Here, you can have the stub revolver, so you actually have a pistol. A ranged option. Weapons are effective against targets in cover and targets of high dodge. Dodge reduction 30. Upgrade your auto pistol. Grab a force grenade. Black chest plate. Was everyone current armor? Angel's trusty carapace. Armored body glove. Mesh chest plate. Send that to cargo. I need that. Add to cargo. I'll keep it straight. Modern knife is more reliable, and if I ever have to switch to that, then I need reliability.
You left the Novus Imperialis to serve the Rogue Trader. Do you ever regret it, Seneschal?
No, I do not regret it in the least. Serving in the Imperial Navy is a fine thing to do. And it was only under Lady Theodora that I truly felt the significance of what I was doing.
I always keep my options open.
Severed human body parts. Cool, I guess. Prison guard key, I'll take that. The Prison Diary of Ati Shane, Part 3. I'm scarred. Should have known all that charity from the warden was going to bring nothing but trouble. No noble, no matter how barmy, would pull anything of the sort. That man. It started with the little things. The warden would come by to talk, as he did, except he used to ask those questions before, now he was mostly gushing sermons. Some gibberish about a path of purgation, sanctity of sacrifice, seeing with blinded eyes. I listened and nodded. Yes, Master Warden, of course, Master Warden. He could say whatever rubbish he wanted, as long as the tasty optimate meals kept coming. But everyone else was doing the same, nodding just to please the big man. I was wrong. After that, people in the barracks started yapping on about purgation blindness too. Apparently us optimates were no longer just the warden's favorite. We were, Emperor forgive me, prophets of some kind who were meant to save the rest of this sorry lot. Or awaken them, or make them see some rubbish along those lines. People were now supposed to make sacrifices to optimates. Yesterday, this happy slept in the bed under me in the first year here, cut off his own ear and crawled on his knees toward me. He handed me the ear and begged me to not forsake him when the fateful hour came. What in the throne am I supposed to do with an ear? Why is everyone, every single one, staring at me all the time? The warden said the time was nigh and that fate had truly great things in store for the optimates. I went to look how my good friend Clinton was doing. He hadn't spoken for 3 months, ever since I had all his top teeth ripped out. He spoke today. He looked straight at me and said, "Dead man." Kept hitting him till it hurt me. My fists and feet are all bruised. Half the barracks stood there and watched and prayed. I'm scared. Chopped up slices of flesh and been thoroughly washed of any blood.
That's how it's done.
So before you bears a familiar scent, that of the dark forces of chaos. Needed to pass a warp knowledge test to figure that out. Judgment the number of horrid morsels, dozens of victims were slain here. Tech use?
Success is the only outcome I accept.
Brethren, the dawn's night. The optimates will guide us into a new existence. My steel. I'll have long for this, my dear brethren. Think the throne, normal-looking faces. We thought we were going to die here with these nutters. The old man with the gap-toothed smile drops his weapon and holds his hands out in pleasant gesture. Please don't shoot us, your nobleness. Let us speak a word. Oh, this is a welcome change. Talking before shooting. Still, Lord Captain, look at this ragtag bunch hardly inspires trust. Came across a void chip and system belonging to your associates. Tell me some interesting things about you and your planned escape. Man grunts, huffs, and makes up his mind. Well, now that's out of the bag. My fellows were supposed to come get us a long time ago. They got tied up somewhere. Void cracking gulps with them, and all this time we had to wait. This happened. I mean, if we're trying to pull the scent the wool over you, it's just that we want nothing to do with this whole warden nonsense. So what now? Will you let us go? Your cracker's neck? Sure, no problem. Today you tell us a little lie, tomorrow you stick a torpedo on our side from that ship of yours. If it doesn't fall apart the moment our helmsman sneezes in its general direction. Give me a reason to not execute you on the spot. Here's the deal. We're honest, quiet inmates. We didn't want to riot. But while sitting it out wasn't really an option either. The warden's lapdogs made short work of those who refused to join in the festivities. So we had to, play along. That's all it was. Play. Never meant no offense to Governor Medina nor the lawful authority of House Winterscale. There's a chance, eh? We just want to wait until everything blows over and we can go back to our cells and quietly do the rest of our time. A repentant, honest heretic. How novel. Judging by Abelard's tone, the Sinsel was utterly unimpressed by the old man's ingratiating monologue. Tell me more about the warden and the riot. Why soil your tongue talking about that heretic? But if you insist, here's how it is. The warden of this here prison, the Honorable Master Castelga, was a crackpot from the start. Previous warden ran things properly. Prayer, 1 meal a day, work, punching the choppers from the guards, work again for the new one. You know what his first decree was? He introduced lunches and dinners. The 9 devils, that's 3 meals a day. That man was obviously stark raving mad. Things went downhill from there. The guards quit it with a teeth punching. The warden forbade them. Instead, the overseers started counting which prisoners were digging up more things in the quarry or swinging their pickaxes harder or whatnot. And then, would you believe it, they put together a list of best workers. And so when that list also showed good behavior, that's when they get promoted to Optimate. It's the upper crust among us jailbirds. Or that's how it was at first. Then the warden decided it's the Optimates, not the guards, who should be in charge of punishments. And that wasn't the overseer's job to watch the prisoners work, it was the Optimates. Let me tell you, that's when these good two-shoes really started to shine. The guards aren't even in the same league as our dear fellows, the Optimates. In the old days, we had maybe 5 or 10 stiffs kicking it a week. Now we're lucky if it was only 50. That wasn't even the end of it. Warden Castillo moved out of his chambers to live right in the quarry, under the dome. I think something in his new home really scrambled his brain. He began spouting the wildest things. The Optimates are saints who will behold the truth. And he started taking them to the quarry. Not all of them returned. The ones who did, you wouldn't recognize them. More beast than man. They were butchering people left and right, even guards and overseers. The warden himself had armed them, and that's the whole sob story. But I knew it from the moment. Let us have dinners. This won't end well. Well, Codger's right. Whenever nobles start giving handouts to commoners, something always goes wrong. She knows you should look at yourself. I mean that with all due respect, your lordship. No offense intended. I spare you. What did I gain from it? Now, how can lowly jailbirds hope to thank your noble self? I have an inkling. See us here, how should I put this? Different from the rest of the prisoners' place. They're all petty thieves from Rake and Minoris. Dipters, gutter, snipes. They're no one serious. Now, we, your noblest, are cut from different cloth altogether. We're fortune seekers from the void. Why don't we tell you where on Footfall Station? You know, Footfall, the only shipyard in the best market in all the Kronos expanses. Yes, so where on Footfall you can find some more serious business-minded folks and how you can get yourself a very special discount for them, some very special goods. Kind of very serious people. Most serious kind, your nobles. Have you heard about the Fellowship of the Void? It's the largest pirate alliance in the expanse. There is no leader, of course, but there are some terribly serious captains who decided that cutting each other's throats over loot was, what do you call it, counterproductive? Cutting throats together, now that's anti-counterproductive. And, well, their joint efforts leave them with an excess of spoils, so they need to dispose of it somehow. And I, your noblest, just happen to know someone who handles such dealings on behalf of those very serious people. Very well, I shall spare you. That's great to hear, your noblest. That's great. Now, there's a true area scan, not that Warren Creek. Now then, your noblest, where was I? If you're ever on Footfall Station, there's this district there, the Shadow Quarters. It's called that because it's located behind the statue of our holiest emperor. Known folks who called it something else, also on account of it being behind the statue. Don't repeat their mistakes, I tell you. Reverend Hieronymus wasted no time finding and burning them all. Forgive an old man for getting distracted. So, Footfall, the Shadow Quarters. There's a bar there built into the remains of an old ship, and in that bar, in the back room, certain Ryza does her business. Tell her Grandpa Backval says hello. It'll be her favorite client and the blink of an eye. Here we are. Well, dear Dulles, we'll be going now if you don't mind. Let them go, or just join my crew. I need more crew. Join my crew. Ah, thanks. We're most grateful in your list. Solomon glances at you somewhat skeptically, but then smiles and leaves. Yeah, I probably should just let them let them leave. Whatever.
Rise to the top or get left in the dust.
Demolish.
The Emperor favors me today.
Over there!
It's a shredded cake. Whenever they were using the door, they immediately removed one of the effects on them in the following order: burning, toxin, bleeding. Ooh. We go for a certain someone. Foe hammer. Shotguns knock enemies back when shot at effective range. Rending shotgun. What's in here? Diviner's Staff. Gives access to the Consign ability. Last Call Grenade. Medkit. What's Consign do? Next hit against the target will be an automatic critical hit. Spellman's heroic effect, disparate measure variations. +5 willpower, +5 perception. +5 willpower. I equip both of these. Do I get the buff doubled? Yeah, but I can switch between the two.
Did I mention that my whispers tell me jokes? Jokes that once said aloud make your eyes bleed and blood curdle. Talk about black comedy.
Okay.
Just as I planned.
Lasgun. Axe. Nobody really needs a lasgun. The main level.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Oh, Evening Winter Skill. Lord von Valesius, my greetings. May the light of eternal terror shine forevermore. Young man, before you offers an impeccable, courteous bow. He then straightens the back and looks you in the eye. Nods as a show of defiance and cool confidence. It is a gaze with which one graces an equal. Evening Winter Skill, younger son of Caligos Winter Skill, at your service. Freedom of Decorum, Lord Lash von Valencius, I am pleased to make your acquaintance. As am I. Evelyn's voice is soft and immaculately polite. Please accept my apologies for the slight breach of etiquette. Here and now, here and now is neither the place nor time for a protracted ceremony. Let us discuss the matter at hand. You are here to end the riot, are you not? The expression was grave. Indeed, it is a personal matter, if you will, and not simply because this incident occurred in a system that belongs to my father, the prison warden. He used to be a close friend of mine. Once, I wanted to give him a chance to come to his senses, lay down his weapons, and stop the senseless uprising. One is clear and out of sound mind. He performed inhumane experiments on prisoners, acts of sheer brutality. Experiments and atrocities. I believe you, but that sounds nothing like him. For as long as I have known him, and has always been a thinker, a dreamer, even. He would dig up these ancient books, studying societal models and theories. He was obsessed with ideals. There are priests within the ecclesiarchy who call it heresy to view the society of Imperium as anything but perfect. However, I believe that N only wanted what he thought was best. I only wish I knew where that road had taken him. Here, dear, scoffing. Yeah, I've known a few dreamers like that myself. They always want what's best, but somehow it always ends in heresy. Back in my world, there was a big shot who was really into dental hygiene. To spare his people from pain, he started pulling out all their rotten teeth, but he got slightly carried away and started pulling healthy ones too, sometimes along with the jaw. Preventive care, he called it, so the mob of toothless servants ended up tearing his kindly head clean off. It was preventative too, you see. The little noggin of his was rotten through and through. Desire to help a friend is a noble one. Or if diplomacy can truly stop the riot, it is worth a try. The fewer deaths, the better. Father would disagree. Thankfully, he is not here. Game of not but a single shuttle's worth of guards. Do you not think it foolhardy? So did you. Fair. I have my doubts, of course, but I am not Governor of Medina. I refuse to sit idle in the safety of a bunker. I wanted to do something, and I thought arriving with a light escort would show Nagathan sincerity of my intentions. Had I arrived at the head of a whole unit, I would not fault N for assuming this was an assault. I was warning Castelglia now. He's up ahead somewhere, and further below. We exchanged a few words over the Vox, and he said he would meet me in the corridor behind the prison building. Strange choice for negotiation, but these were his conditions. There was worry in his voice. Very well, in that case, I shall accompany you. I submit, I do appreciate your company. This prison has given me a strong sense of unease. The lift cannot support both our parties. If you're going ahead, wait for us in the quarry, and we will follow shortly. To the open pit. What's it up to? The accretions on the outside of the structure indicate some regularly occurring natural phenomena, possibly poison gas emissions.
I always get the job done. Success is the only
Evidence suggests the
outcome
victim
I
was killed by
accept.
poisonous gas. The glass-making furnace was used to melt the extracted sand into glass. Fire grenades, force grenades, melta charges. Very good. Food. Woken prisoner, awoken prisoner. Guard, prisoner, warning Castilia, prisoner.
I always
Let's say
have
hi.
a backup plan.
Then appears a man walking towards you. His every gesture and his very demeanor speaks of his noble birth. This creates a stark contrast with his hair. A mad knot that clearly has not seen a brush in weeks, and his crumpled and filthy clothing. His face is pale and his eyes burn furiously. Who are you? I was expecting my friend Vane, not an intrusion. Then your way is over, Adam. Evan takes a step forward. However, I did not come alone. I'm accompanied by the Honorable Lord von Valencius. Man shoots you a piercing glare. You should have guessed it. It would be you. What do you want, enemy of Aurora? What? Warren's words are suddenly drowned out by a chorus of voices in your head. The entity that still dwells in the recesses of your mind rejoices in the cacophony of cries. This place holds great significance for the entity. In the frantic chanting of the voices, you can almost make out words that speak of an ancient grave, one that was opened for it contained a priceless treasure. It was coveted prize that was retrieved by the faithful after a centuries-long search. Who's Aurora? Oh, so you managed to barge in here and interfere with the prophetess designs without even knowing who she is. It's too late now. You'll never attain sight. All you can do is accept your fate. Feeling stirs like a predator or beast. I do not like it when people take the prophetess Aurora's name in vain. I desire your death. Give me the truth. Wait. When he raises his hand, the main people start thrashing about in their death throes. The time for words have passed. Helpmates, give your power to the harbinger of Aurora. Let our foes see the truth, or become awash in blood.
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
Let the blood flow!
Well, what is that thing, and why is it targetable?
None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
I'll see to it personally. He never stood a chance.
Crit.
Out of my way!
Stop it!
Chaos guides me!
What an unfortunate turn of fate. Was that you? Or...
My faith strengthens me!
I bring ruin.
A tactically sound approach.
Crush the feeble.
I serve the ruinous power!
Pain cleanses the body.
I serve the ruinous powers.
Let's get to it.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
It's as good as done. On it.
Just a minor setback.
Death to the weak!
Like increases target's dodge and parry by 11% until the end of combat. Oh.
But of course. Will do. Stop mocking me.
Untamed power, perils of the warp. Disturbance removes the combat gained outside combat, visit the voice ship to remove. It's like a tree. Okay, so she takes 1 point of damage.
It will be done.
Let's make it quick!
Whatever that machine is, it sure is getting damaged by the guy.
I'll do it.
So is that machine.
I'll make it happen.
Crap.
That is not my destiny. Anything else? Will do.
Victory is imminent.
Here we go! Out of my way!
As the Emperor commands, I act. This is unacceptable.
Unholy lens. Seems like a thing that should be broken.
I'll see to it personally. I'll make it happen.
Seriously. Come on, Abelard, block. You have so much on parry.
They who discern the future own the battlefield. But of course,
Whiplash. God dang it.
I'm not injured. I'm enraged.
Prone.
was it you? Or
Oh, he seems weaker now, though. Apparently those machines will just resurrect him, so that's a problem.
Follow my lead. Indeed. At your beck and call.
Hold on. Death to non-believers.
my prescience has failed me.
Out of my way.
High momentum.
So being prone wasted her turn. Okay. Well, I can take out this guy, idiot, though.
Your end was inevitable.
So now it's just the warden and his machines.
It's as good as done.
Does Psychic Streak work on these machines?
On it.
Guess not.
I will do my duty. At your beck and call.
Demonic Armor. Target suffers minus 20 penalty to toughness and gains plus 50% armor against all damage types except warp damage. Well, crap.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
I'll make it happen.
Abelard, come on, parry! You have like a 90% chance. I presume that his abilities probably reduce that by a bit, but, you know, still.
Cover me.
That's a lot of chance. Bonk. That was a solid bonk.
It will be done. Victory is imminent.
God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart.
Oh, that machine's already trashed. It's been accidentally shot that many times.
see to it personally.
Nice. Critical hit.
On it.
Oh, thank goodness, Ablar, for finally parrying. Holy crap.
Anything else?
Lord, please, for the love of anything, hit. Thank you.
At your beck and call.
44 to 59 damage. I can make the number higher.
I'll make it happen.
There's so much exploit on this guy.
Who if not me?
He approaches the body of his friend and remains silent for some time. Then he looks at the quarry. His gaze is dark. Everything must be purged with fire. And what have you done? Curious indeed, just what exactly has he done here? Do not know, nor do I want to know. This ravaged people, this strange glass, all this talk of Aurora. These are abundantly clear signs of lunacy and heresy. Wish I could understand how the man I knew came to be this way, but one should not peer into the abyss. Get that right. The abyss happily swallows up wretched commoners and polished aristocrats alike, and likes naive idealists best of all. Adira smiles bitterly at Evelyn before turning her gaze to the remains of his former friend. I invite you aboard my ship, Evanie. I would like to continue our acquaintance. Thank you for the invitation and accept it gladly. I will arrive by my shuttle in a little while, if you'll excuse me, I would like to be alone for the time being. 3 profit factor gained. Cool. Toby pattern and las gun. Black chest plate. Guys drawn to the shards of enormous linen scattered around the broken device. At first you are uncertain as to what troubles you, but suddenly the realization hits you. The glass shimmers in a unique way, just the same way as the shards of the unknown broken object you found near Theodora von Valencia's desk. What's the matter, Lord Captain? Why are you so interested in Abelard trails off when he knows what you're looking at? He instantly makes a connection. The Imperium Saints. It cannot be. I see it too. Whatever that thing in her study was, it was made from the same material as this junk. What? Abelard is a lost word. He takes a moment to collect himself, and all at once they start pouring out in a hasty sputter. It's a mistake, slander, meant to blemish the good name of a person who's now dead and cannot even defend herself. For those minions of the arch-enemy murdered Lord Captain Theodora, and now this cannot be tolerated. It will not be tolerated. Come on now, Abelard. Remember what she was like. Adira's smile betrays her grief, but at the same time it is strangely knowing. Brazen, assertive. It was like her entire life was a race against fate, until fate caught up with her in the end. She would have gone head first into a black hole if she had thought it would put her one step ahead of everyone else out in the expanse. You just find out what she was keeping in her desk, and why she went to get it during the attack. Gina's beautiful face is full of grief. How bitter it is to know that you were born from bad blood, but do not let this knowledge drag you into darkness. Perception test succeeds. Sister's words ring with a genuine, sincere hope to be blessed with a worthier fate. She does not appear to be shocked by the news of Theodora's possible heresy. Life must be so easy for you, sanctimonious preachers. A dubious trinket, and you no longer see a person, you see bad blood, an annoying hindrance. It's not fit him an Idira's voice to poison an entire regiment. And then recoils, but the next moment her dark eyes ignite with fury. How dare you admonish me? You are speaking of betting the arch enemy. A person who has tainted themselves thus can never justify their actions. Sure, why go through all the trouble of trying to make sense of anything when you can just label him a heretic and call it a day? Except, dear friend, I seem to remember that you don't mind Theodorus so much while you are aboard the ship. Didn't leave her side for even a moment. She rescued you, aided you, and your adoration wilted the moment you heard an accusation sullying her memory. You weren't surprised or upset, you just gave up on her and moved on. Adira is right. It is too soon to cast accusations of heresy. Don't be naive. Theodora kept an unsanctioned witch by her side like a pet. Do you really believe she would think twice about crossing the line in other ways? Well-maintained sniper rifle. Oh, nope, that's what I'm currently equipped with. This is just another last gun. Oops. Noble Sword. Attacks with this sword costs 1 AP more. When they hit, the sword's attack inflicts a disturbed effect on the target for 2 rounds. If the target of the attack is already suffering from a disturbed effect, the weapon attack deals an additional so much damage to this target. Those warders prefer swords for their providing more flexibility and battlefield against close quarters. 10% to parry, minus 10% to enemy weapon skill when hit. Precise las pistol. Improved armored body glove. Sure. Loot.
I always keep my options open.
Crippled man's appearance was ghastly. As evidence, he was cared for after his mutilation. Mutilated man does not serve, bound in his shackles. The plaque near his head reads, Most Holy Prophet and Optimate Atishon. Rip. It's a revolver. Skin crawls as you approach this place. However, there does not appear to be anything unknown. Fancy sword. Better body armor. Who's using a las pistol? Does this additional single shot and deadeye shot to range attacking. Such shots cannot hit opponents, damage between the shooter and the target, but in the case of miss, successful dodge, or successful rotation, they can damage characters behind the main target, both enemies and allies. Character attacks with a single shot, they roll to hit. Deadeye shot. Actually, yeah, I wonder how that will work. Level up time. Talent and characteristic. The operative attacks an enemy that is at full wounds. Attack deals 10 plus perception bonus more damage to that enemy. 14% more damage. Exposed weakness costs 0 AP. Whenever the operative triggers an exploit on the enemy, the operative gains +1 damage and +2% until the end of combat. Only applies their first projectile on the burst attack. Oh, I already have that feature. That's right. The weakness also reduces enemies' toughness and willpower by that much for 1 round. Attacks targets targeted by an exploit from a distance of 15, so that'd be 11 cells or further. That attack deals 15% more damage. If his perception bonus is 10 or higher, they gain +1 AP and ignore enemies' deflection. How do you even reach 10 or higher perception bonus? I'm at 4 right now. There's 2 more exploits. Target suffers +1 additional exploit. So that returns the enemy with the largest number of exploits sees an additional exploit stack. 2 or more are tied. Operative is in half cover. Their cover efficiency is increased by 15%. This bonus is doubled if operative is not moved during their turn. Improved tactics. Time requires 3 exploits instead of 4. Increase the operative's damage by an additional 1 set. Sharp target launch. When the operative hits an enemy that is affected by both an exploit and exposed weakness, that enemy loses -3 movement points and their damage reduced by 20%. The target requires precise attack. The operative uses precise attack on a target affected by 10 minus bonus or more exploits and scores a hit. That hit becomes a critical hit. Precise attack grants the operative a bonus to perception equal to number of exploits removed divided by 2, minimum of 1. Operative ally gain plus operatives int bonus, hit chance, and critical hit chance while attacking targets. Affected by exploits. So they gain 2 hit chance. 2%. Yeah. Suffers -3 times 4, so 12 less damage remains affected by exploits. The operative randomly distributes the same number of exploits as one using analyzed enemies among all enemies in 10 cell radius around the start of each of the operative's opponent's turns. They distribute half as many exploits, half the base amount. All enemies in 2 cell radius around the operative. The enemy affected by an exploit within 5 meters from the operative attacks the operative or their ally. That enemy suffers +1 additional exploit. If the operative does not move during the turn, they gain +4 ballistic seal and plus int bonus divided by 2 damage on the single shot attacks for every 5 cells between them and the target. But additionally grants the operative Let's go covert protocol. Increase what is known as stacks of surefire plan. They gain 1 stack. Enemy affected by surefire plan also suffers that much penalty, dodge reduction, and parry reduction. The dodge and parry from surefire plan is decreased by +2 times agility bonus. Start the next round, starts plan. Bonus surefire plan is increased by 2 times willpower weapon skill bonus. Weapon skill, why? Killing this one enemy with attack restores 1 stack of surefire plan. Once per combat, the Crime Lord has at least 1 stack of surefire plan. They do not die from lethal damage. Instead, they heal 5 times surefire plan stacks. Maximum wounds, lose all stacks, and can no longer gain surefire plan stacks. Let's take nimble. +5 seems nice. +10 dodge seems good. It's 75% dodge, which is pretty darn good, I'd say. Intelligence, perception, ballistic skill, weapon skill. Let's do intelligence, get that to -5. Since I have a deer that can handle perception, so somebody can handle int. For you, available abilities. You already have Endure. Echo Strike requires next metal attack gains +5 times strength bonus armor penetration and +2 times strength bonus damage and ignores 3 times weapon skill bonus of the target's parry. If the enemy survives an attack enhanced by his ability, will attack the warrior in return, including creatures with ranged weapons. So for an enemy, the warrior marks the target, gaining +10 armor and +2 strength damage against the target. Target attacks the warrior during this round, the warrior gains a +1 AP, once per round. Warrior gains a slash ability. Charges for this round. Slash cannot be used in the same round as charge. Slash. Warrior dashes through an enemy to sell on the opposite side and makes a melee attack with -50% reduced damage. Can be applied for once for one target round. Per round, does not provoke an attack opportunity. Warrior gathers all their might for crushing strike. The next melee attack pushes the enemy away. The distance pushed is equal to 1 plus strength bonus divided by 2 cells. Warrior screams the enemies to draw the attention, becomes a priority target of any enemy who fails a willpower test. Let's take Reckless Strike. That'd be a good way for beating down tough enemies. Then +10 to a skill. Let's go for athletics. Traverse to terrain, for example. Section of the deck or to climb over precipitous rocks. The operative, available talents. Let's go with Visions of Doom. That's a good way to knock down abilities, I think. Should I go for something else? take second sight, actually. More range. Then, characteristic buff. Buff willpower. Willpower is a good thing to have. Smoke circle control interior. No effects on psychic powers. Powers available. Great. Church sector. More discerning the dangers and treating to the thoughts of people around the sector or causing elements of vision sector. Not reduce the momentum of the party, distracting them from combat, lowering their morale, or just causing bad luck. Sanctioned aura and sanctioned chances that sanctioned circles called second aura have, while sanctioned instead have increased chances and +1 to their sight rating. It's dangerous to make car whenever veil degradation reaches 15 and a major psychic power is activated. Chance of this happening is 10 plus sight rating plus a veil degradation pairs with the warp or dangerously in one of the vicinity of the cycle. Their manifestation can push away characters, damage them, summon demons, fill the area of motive, force charges, and much more. So how am I triggering Perils of the Warp? My veil degradation never reaches 15. I mean, heck, I don't think it ever increased over, like, 4. I triggered Perils of the Warp, like, twice. Am I causing, like, some sort of overflow error due to, the, stabilizing factor? Actually, has buff perception. She uses perception for a few different things. Characteristic buff. Actually, I currently suffer from head trauma. Because you just got, like, nuked by a freaking idiot with a knife. What's up, ballistic skill? You do a lot of shooting. New ability. If a sign they are about to open fire at soldier, and their allies will automatically dodge the soldier's next attack. Dash. Concentrate fire. The next range attack. The soldier deals plus 50 plus 50 plus 10 times ballistic skill bonus damage and has an additional 10 plus 2 times ballistic skill bonus dodge reduction. That's really good because that's 100% damage and a 20 reduction on dodge chance. Soldier immediately spends all their AP and MP and gains a plus 30% cover bonus to cover efficiency. The next time soldier uses front gun, they gain back all spent AP and MP plus 1 additional AP. It also resets cooldown of all of their soldier abilities except for running gun. So the next burst attack will have its rate of fire doubled, but deal 25% less damage. All the shots will fall at random trajectories. Only works with weapons capable of burst fire. Say concentrated fire. That's a lot of extra damage. Alright. So everything's looted, and chaos has been stopped again. So, yeah. Guess let's leave.
Keep your wits about you.
Lordship, buildings are being crushed. I have news of your lord. Is Lord Winsko alive? Is he alright? He's safe and in one piece. Shall receive him as a gift on my ship, so ready the shuttle. It's visible relief on the pilot's face. Clicking her heels together, she cheerfully barks out. Consider it done, your lordship. Thank you for the good news. One for a man by the name of Henrik von Kullux. He is here, perhaps? As is one of the prisoner's regards, and it seems unlikely. There are no shuttles in working order other than yours and mine. There's nothing else anyone could have used to reach this place. Okay. Permission report, Lord Captain. Over the past few days, I've received several messages from different decks complaining about anomalous behavior in the ship's cogitator and servitors. Machine spirits are restless and rebellious, and no tech litany or ritual of pacification can rid them of this obstinacy. Tech priests can deal with the vessel systems, but the servitors, they make errors in their tasks, disobey orders, change the assigned rituals, or sometimes downright freeze as if in a trance. Click comes through the Vox channel, followed by a weird slide. Lord Captain encourages such these are caused by errors in cogitator calculations or have some other sensible explanation. I beseech you not to take after those who whisper about their ship being cursed or possessed. Hero joins the channel and chimes in playfully. Oh, don't start, old man. All these peculiar happenings have long since turned into local legends. Door slams shut, a lumen starts flickering. Folk have grown used to all that. Our resident ghost has decided to up the ante. I'm telling you, things are only going to get worse from here. Technomats inspected the servitors and concluded they pose no danger. According to the servants of the Al-Messiah, such behavior is caused either by the echoes of minds not completely eliminated or by manifestations of the machine spirit's will. Nevertheless, the faulty servitors make the crew's task considerably more difficult, and High Factorum Generous Janruk would like to discuss how you should deal with the defective property. He's awaiting your audience on the bridge. Okay, how do I... It's not what I was looking for, but okay. Oh, here we go, back to bridge. Factonium Generous Dunrock. Corpulent man in lavish clothes bows before you, not without difficulty. Surgical whirs over his shoulder, while the fingers of his augmented hand drum against the sheaf of papers he is holding. He regards you with attentive interest through the lens of his magnifying implant. Greetings, your lordship. Generous Dunrock at your service. Vigdis informed me about a problem with the servitors. What happened? See, lordship, the ship's servitors have been malfunctioning of late. They violate protocols, interrupt their tasks, observe crew members for long periods of time, and move erratically with no meaning or purpose. Donok nervously pulls on his luxurious frock coat as if it were uncomfortably tight. Had been a routine technical fault, I would have decided the fate of these servitors myself, but I deemed it necessary to notify you. I do not wish to hide such irregularities from the Lord Captain. If you wish to observe the servitors' unusual behavior before you decide their fate, this can be arranged. The majority of the defective units have been delivered to one of the storage compartments, pending your decision. I should take a look at the servitors before deciding their fate. As you wish, your lordship. When his lordship arrived at the scene, he found the servitors in the same position that they assumed after they had been corralled into the bay, while spinning a long spiraling line and facing the center of their strange formation. When his lordship crossed the threshold of the bay gate, their bodies jerked into motion, all as one, as if obeying a command. Servitors turned to face the Lord Captain. Technomat's tasked with overseeing the defective units even reached for their weapons. And the servitors went still just as abruptly, staring at his lordship with vacant eyes. All present held their breath, disturbed by his sight. We waited for the Lord Captain to speak. From the words of High Factotum General Stenrock. Managed report on the defective unit status from the Technomats. Technomat's long-winded and detailed report could have been summarized in a single key point. Despite the servitors' abnormal behavior, they were still quite capable of carrying out tasks, and therefore the circumstances did not call for their termination. While present on the breast, by the sight, whoever the parents speak, the lordship left. After this, took several steps towards the servitors. Meeting the servitors, each and every one of them stepped towards Lord Captain in perfect unison. They mimicked his movements with frightening precision. The Rouge Trader halted in place, and after a moment's thought, waved his hand, and the servitors just as synchronously repeated that gesture as well. And then Lord Captain turned quizzically to Technomat, so did the servitors, as if mocking him. Whatever the Lord Captain did, being inclined up his head, a wave of the hand, or a step up to the side, the defective units repeated it without a moment's delay or hesitation, like grotesque marionettes controlled by an unseen puppeteer. We observed this mime unfold in distressed bafflement for nearly a minute until the servitors finally came to a stop. Sensing any threat from them, the Rouge Trader approached with confidence. Lord Captain examined the servitors. People, normally still, were shaking wildly. The bulging veins were pulsating under their copper collars, inscribed with their past offenses. It's as if these mindless half machines were locked in a perpetual state of extreme tension. A visibly shaking Technomat behind us proposed that the human souls have awakened within the servitors' bodies after a long slumber, deep within their lobotomized brains. Formerly bereft of intelligence, they had attained awareness, feeling, and understanding. After a pause, the Technomat added that the servitors used to function properly, and that no one had been able to explain the change in their behavior. This case still trained on the motionless but animate half machines and half people. Lord Captain. Yeah, let's not do that. Voice in the head sucks. Not gonna listen to it. Stepped away from the servitors. Or that one of the servitors be disassembled and its components investigated. Group of Technomats hurried to act upon the Lord Captain's command. The servitors' mechanical parts separated with clicks, snaps, and hisses. Stitches between its wrinkled, pale flesh and its augments were laid disgustingly bare. We watched the Technomats do their work and could see every centimeter of the servitor's stiff muscles bounding with valves and cavities placed by countless cords and tubes. This simply an analysis complete, the Technomats concurred the unit was in working order. Nothing in the dissected body that lay before us could provide any insight into the reason behind the defects. I should make note of one more thing. At that moment, all of us present discovered that not just the eyes, but the hands and heads of some of their servitors were now shaking too, as if the mechanized servants were overcome with some primordial terror. Turned to me to announce his decision. Lordship looked at me with unwavering resolve, and was that confidence wrenched me out of that nightmare stupor that had me intensely observing the scene before me. Lord Captain gave the order. Dispose of the servitors, that their human souls may be released from torment. Or destroy them, for what was happening to them could spell horrific heresy. So I don't think it's I'm gonna go with the Iconoclast. Dispose surgery so that human souls may be released from torment. Captain's commands execute post haste. All defective units were incinerated in furnaces, and the remains were expelled to the void. Crews provided replacement servers and soon forgot all about the destroyed units' peculiarities in hostile memories to this day. Okay, the defective servitors decided nothing could now distract the Lord Captain from his mission. Is that just... Why is there just a corpse here? What? Adira? The tall middle-aged woman stares straight ahead, her eyes vacant. She rubs an implant at her temple. The collar is undone, and one of the clasps is on the verge of falling off. Listening to your present, Adira turns her head towards you and offers you a quick smile. Even the strides look right through you. Seem to have a very strong reaction to what Argenta said about the broken limbs.
It was just my nerves playing up. Something about our little saint doesn't sit right with me, and I trust my gut. Oh sure, she seems straight as an arrow and as predictable as a hangover after drinking. But when I look at her, something about her makes my brain itch.
Okay.
After that conversation, I tried to listen to what was being said about her. Beyond the door, what I heard was strange. Blood in her past, twilight in her present, and something like a star leading her. But where is it leading her? I saw several roads, and all of them frightened me.
What does it all mean?
If I knew, I would have told you. Hearing things clearly requires cooperation from the other person you know. But that cobra just hisses and spits its venom at me. I don't trust her one bit.
Maybe we should have warned Argenta?
Oh yeah, you go ahead and tell her the wicked Psyker has divined something about her. She'll be so pleased and grateful, and of course she'll listen to what you have to say. No, that would be pointless. And anyway, I'm not even sure what it all means. Maybe the danger is to her? Or maybe the danger's coming from her.
Lyra's voice is full of animosity, but you also detect concern, even a hint of pity and compassion. Did you know Theodore von Valentius well?
None of the officers knew the Lord Captain well. Not even Abelard, and she was always closer to him than anyone else. She told me from the off that if I ever listened to anything in the warp about her without her permission, I'd be going out through the airlock. I'm not an idiot, so I never stuck my nose where it didn't belong. Only when I was asked.
Okay.
It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that she's gone. Lady von Valancius gave me everything I have. She opened the stars to me and the paths between them. I still think I can hear her voice.
Lyra, about your abilities.
What are you talking about, Lord Captain?
You are a Psyker. Psykers only granted the right to live with the Emperor's blessing. Have you ever been to Terra?
Look, Lady Theodora couldn't care less if some eggheads measured my brains or not. It's not about the seal on your forehead, get it? It's about what's in your gut, if it's rotten or not. My gut's stronger than the adamantine on this here ship. And my implants are better than the ones they put in you on your Terra. If they weren't, I wouldn't have lived as long as I have.
Fair enough. Where do you come from?
Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Coronis Expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like that. The very best.
Tell me about Lyra.
It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between two faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen local tyrants fight over 5 measly continents. But they use everything they can to win. From poison to psychers. I haven't been there in many years, but there's nothing for me to miss. Trust me.
Okay.
But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead, in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord Captain. Pay no attention.
Never finished the story about your first time crossing the warp.
It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, alright?
Fair enough. What did you do before you came to be on the ship?
Oh, I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes. I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability to see into the future. Every psyker that could be found was worth a small fortune on Lyra. There's no such thing as a peaceful life on Lyra. People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick psychers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them. Take me, for instance. I got taken from my street gang. The older kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me. The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me, you know. Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time.
Uses her hands to indicate a head exploding and laughs. And you end up in the Rogue Trader service.
Theodora von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were practically screaming. She had so much behind her, and plenty ahead of her too. As I gawped at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper. A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I seized my chance and approached Theodora. I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then Theodora's people came for me. They broke down the wall, butchered the guards. Also, I could tell them my warning in full. So I said the rest, but I didn't want to go back to my old life. And so I entered the service of the von Valancius dynasty.
You ever been off the ship?
A few times. Not many. And if I think about it, why would I want to? I've got everything I need here. All the whispers I hear are familiar ones. They almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares off the ship, I can. After some Amisec. But don't go getting the wrong idea. If I have to, I'll follow you to the edge of the galaxy.
Alright, let's talk about something else.
Of course, Lord Captain.
I'll talk to her more later.
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you need me.
Still curious about the corpse just laying there. Is that another one? Wait, are those servitors? Yeah, that's a servitor. That's something on the wall. Weird. Magenta.
Greetings.
What is it that's keeping you in my retinue?
This ship was targeted by heretical pirates, which means that my presence here and the assistance I provide to you are my sacred duty. Sooner or later, I will likely have to return to Footfall to protect its reliquary. But for now, I wish to remain a part of the Rogue Trader's crew.
Enjoy your company. I hope that you remain in the crew and that this ship comes your home.
Those are very courteous words, Rogue Trader. Thank you, both for your words and your hospitality.
Thank you for this conversation. Until next time. Probably didn't come off the way I meant it to come off, but whatever. Where's one dude? I added him to my ship, so where is he? Boxmaster, do you know where the dude is? Go for now. Sir. Abelard, how are you doing?
Lord Captain,
Let's talk about things that may be of useful to me as the Rogue Trader.
a noble aspiration, Lord Captain. I am ready to acquaint you with all the particulars that interest you.
All the situation currently expands for me. What I need to know and keep in mind.
This is a topic for an official briefing, not a casual conversation. But I will try to answer succinctly. And if you permit, in my own words, the Coronis Expanse is considerably removed from the heart of the Imperium. This means that local warp routes become useless within months. Established pathways are regularly subject to attacks from all kinds of rabble. And in the only major port, the Imperium's frigates find themselves moored alongside pirate vessels. Until recently, the Coronis Expanse could hardly have been called a region of the Imperium. The situation has changed with the arrival of the Lord Inquisitor, but not by much. This place operates under its own rules, you see. More radical, so to speak. But ones that allow for a non-standard approach where there is a promise of victory. The Coronis Expanse is considered Rogue Trader territory for a reason. Only Rogue Traders have sufficient military might, audacity, and the rights granted them by the warrant to survive the leap into the unexplored part of the Expanse, and in the event of a successful outcome, to hold on to whatever they manage to capture on the frontier.
What are the main players I need to be aware of in the Cronus Expanse?
In the first instance, you should treat official representatives of the Imperium with respect. The Expanse may be on the fringes, but it still numbers among the territories of the Golden Throne. The arrival of the Lord Inquisitor has turned the Coronis Expanse into a less wild and uncontrolled region, to the regret of some individuals who had grown inured to the local lawlessness. Rogue traders such as yourself are also servants of the Imperium. They have been accorded special rights and powers. They wield immense authority within their territory, and they enjoy absolute respect in other parts of the Expanse. The most powerful of them are Kalagos Winterscale and Incendia Bastal Chorda. Tread carefully when dealing with either of them.
Okay.
If we are to speak of unclaimed territory, which is what Footfall is, among the scum that dwells on that handful of asteroids, there are 3 factions that wield considerable influence in the sector. The first is the Kazbalaka Mission, organized crime in its most primitive form. It holds sway over the Liege of Footfall, and has links to Rogue Trader Winterscale. The second faction is an offshoot of our shining Ecclesiarchy, followers of St. Drusus. They are actively building their forces, and hold influence over Rogue Trader Chorda. And finally, the third faction, the Explorators, a wing of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They are willing to die and kill for the secrets of the ancient technological heresies that are hidden among the stars of the Coronis Expanse.
Alright. Kunrad, our previous Master Whispers. What can you tell me about his betrayal? What do you think he'll do next?
You know, Lord Captain, I am no admirer of fine art. But when we next find ourselves in a civilized port, with time to spare, I will promptly find an artist and commission a portrait of the individual to whom you refer, with a hole between the eyes. Conrad Voigtveer. That he committed his treachery and escaped with his life was an unforgivable oversight. We both served Lord Captain Theodora for many years, and we never saw eye to eye. He was brash. He was never afraid of assuming responsibility, and he willingly took on difficult tasks. I am loath to admit it, but the Von Velatius Protectorate continues to reap the fruits of his labors to this day. His service always garnered my respect. But everything else about him made me want to wring the neck of that two-faced snake. If you are taking comfort in the thought that we will hear no more of Conrad, prepare to be disappointed. You thwarted his plans, his meticulously plotted and nurtured treachery. He is sure to attempt to strike at you, and he will use his contacts and knowledge of the Protectorate to do so. The only question, Lord Captain, is whether you will be able to anticipate his next steps.
Alright, that is all for now.
As you wish, Lord Captain.
Just take my leave. Till next time.
Lord Captain.
To heresy and rebels, but finding any other secret. Right, Navigator Station or Rykad Minoris? Let's go to the navigator station. Captain, sorry to disturb you, as he's listening to him. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Sarian's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. What? The everyday sounds of the bridge are disrupted by voices raised in anger. Abelard's voice is the loudest of all. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on alert. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all her might not to quell under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters when the manager look in the eye and say, I apologize, sir. I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain. Not least because I see you have already seen fit to disturb him. The unauthorized appearance on the bridge and the display of belligerence towards a higher-ranking officer will be logged in your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avrila Vint, requesting permission to speak. On a matter of Vint falls silent and as rashly on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. You may speak, but want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I thought that drastic times called for drastic measures. And exclaimed hotly. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. I am convinced that this step is unwarranted, and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Vint is almost trembling with tension as she delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Lord, no hurry to intervene. Let's Alex skeptical huff. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Sinesco or Sarian, and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we'll have mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Vint reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She has clearly been preparing to say them for some time. She has finished. She casts an anxious glance at Abelard, then at you. There's an instruction on making war on my ship, and no one has informed me. Will not deem it a problem worthy of the Rogue Trader's attention. Lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. 30-some years ago, we even had a revolutionary leader rise up who dared to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order, but even 8 years later, we were still battling rumors that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. So, needless to say, the rumors were baseless. As for the current situation, we have sufficient enforcers to deal with it. But on this ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. Sure that the Rogue Trader addresses the contents directly, he will quell the unrest. There's to think what problem you will disturb the Lord Captain with next. Perhaps you ask the Lord Captain to break up brawls in the mess room. I've already given you the means to resolve the problem. You simply need to use them. May your Lordship, sending his squad to crush the rebellion as a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. How did all this start? The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who had been killed in a drunken brawl. They reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between enforcers and workers to a head. Where does Sinestro or Sarian come into all this? I shall explain. Abelard turns grimly. Beg you to hurry, time is running out. I will not hurry. Since my competence is under scrutiny, I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There's an established order to the way things are done on this ship. And one of the pillars of that system is that Rogue Trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Sinestio's role to ensure that. I've always handled internal problems myself, so of course when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valentius will find refuge on her ship. You are far too heavy-handed, Lord Shnarian. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors has driven the people to the brink. This is big. Now there's a strike on the lower decks in Depot 4. To be precise, 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. When we report my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. What is Depot 4? 4 is one of the poor sections on the lower decks. It is home to clans of general laborers. They are not as valuable to ship as the families who have served its specialized system for generations. They are an easily replaceable resource, and one which is now more besides giving succor to cultists and minions, their arch enemy. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at worst that means drunken fights and illegal rotgut brewing. We have handled the workers of Depot 4 in the past. We would have done it so again. The crackdown on Depot 4 had been so harsh, and another important point to bear in mind. The problem is not limited to the sector. It is located on one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens there has a knock-on effect on all the neighboring sectors. Abelard, what do you have to say to all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests of your proctorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the captain to go down to the lower deck, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You'll see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way you'll stop their uprising before it begins. I'm certain the Celestial was acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decisions for myself. Throne preserve you, Lord Captain. I thank you for your support. See slightly. Enterprise bordering on the sophomoric. But please, Lord Captain, however, I cannot worry and insist that I escort you. Choose party members. What the crap's gonna go down? So I have the conflict with the Celestial. Greetings, your grace. So this room, take that scum. It is. This is all his fault. All of it. Blood reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startlingly human gesture, and a telling one. A remote where he allows his age and weariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we can't replace all locals with servitors. Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this. Levels from the upper decks down here to see us. Something resembling a nest made of thermal insulation material. This must be where the workers sleep between shifts.
See? Right there.
Okay, can be seen beyond the massive bars. Perhaps examine the pipe will allow you to reach it. Future receive bonus and an additional attack per turn. See how they live on the upper decks, even just one. Where am I? Where am I going? Situation before.
Is there money to be made?
I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
Relax, old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. Lets you see how the simple folk live.
Relive. Sounds of heated discussion reverberate through the ship's base. Lieutenant Relevant, the ship's forces is bearing the path of a heavily built assault unit officer. Judging by the expression's tones, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached boiling point. I have my orders. Put an end to the unrighteous and purge this sector. And take your orders and shove them. This is my deck and my sector. There are only 3 people who can waltz in here without my express permission. The first officer, the Rouge Trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Rather than crabby approval. It does not clarify whether he means Lieutenant Vint, the officer looming over her, or both. Your Lordship, nosing you, the 2 junior officers snap to attention and salute. There's subordinates following suit a moment later. What's the situation? Lordship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. Want to speak to the strikers. His mouth twists, but he strains himself and says nothing. But you are Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Hope gleams in Lieutenant Vint's eyes.
Let us not dawdle.
Dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crew, weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to strange to the outright grotesque. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and enjoying their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd. An elderly woman and 2 men. Must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Oh, Lord Captain, you have come down to us. Tell me what's troubling you. Why are you striking? Striking? That's news to us, your lordship, says a tall, thin man in a work's garb. What we're doing is asking questions, seeing what we think. Oh, shut up, Rivet, snaps the old woman who turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal, your lordship. Your damn enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to hold bays for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. My clan, 2 little ones died from inflation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The woman spits on the floor and rubs at the spittle with the toe of her worn-out shoe. Britain does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers her waking on pair and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vint is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks, and who grew up amid ships and has no fellow feeling towards us. A man with a scarred face throws up his arms. Your lordship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. Persecution started a purpose of nothing, you said. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and that there were heretics hiding here. Cultist amulets? What's that? The Gewgaw they found on the dead drunkard? It was something evil. If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. How could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not. If there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for this amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with, nobody's ever tread these decks and boots so fine. I can tell you that. Seems to me those cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots really were fine, and there was no harm in taking them, right? for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor. And when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your lordship, we are people of faith. Naive children, weren't you taught from early age about the dangers of the archenemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. Last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I had my third little one. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the soldiers of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not here, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? Lord, do you have anything to add? Authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos warships hiring in the sector. Specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled having to explain himself in the workers' presence. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedoers. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. We were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? There's an explanation for you. People have been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out. So if we don't know why these top deck units are being sent down here, like that one that the lieutenant won't let pass. Clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off. The lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who've had just about enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. Death Squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. Words seem sincere to you. The body lingers and the glances straight between them reveal that the news of the attack has shocked them. So it was either some other group that's so far unknown, or it was spontaneous. What changes do you want? So look at that. The Exalted Lord Cap himself is asking us Bildra's what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. Oh, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here. We want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves so these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader by clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. Gone too far, old man. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks too. For weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultists' bodies, and we'll talk to them, one lower deck to another. If there are any more of those damned animals about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. Speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak from me and mine. I don't want empty gestures, I want real change. Promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns his back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before. All because we dared to speak out. Tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if planning to argue, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. Spreading anarchy in the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands would be even worse. Once more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we will consider the rest. Yeah, spreading anarchy in the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons to untrained hands would be even worse. The more the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands, we'll consider the rest. Tall worker they call Rivet shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the woman. Old man, listen. Lord Captain himself has come down to us and is offering concessions. I don't know a single person in the whole of Depot 4 who's ever stood next to a Rouge Trader. I don't talk to them. Back down. Now's no time for you to be stubborn, old crone. Listen to this, old man. 3 clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made our minds up. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers to give us weapons. We don't need any of that. Old woman hisses in disaffection. You two are ganging up on me? Is that it? So brave you are against an old woman. But I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against 2 clan leaders on my own. you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. It's great, just fantastic. Lord Captain, we're all agreed. In this site, persecution will stop, and I'll expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultists. Lordship, thank you. You have not abandoned us lower deckers. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. Of course, your lordship. We'll root out any nasty business faster than enforcers. We'll leave no stone unturned. Come on, go. Are you satisfied, Lord Captain? Then may I suggest we leave the circuit and discuss everything en route. A page is where the start of each shift is marked. The last mark is mission. The workers went on strike.
I always have a backup plan.
Huge pipes already as a ship running through many bays, delivering air, water, heat, and a propulsive force of steam. Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your other companion, saying, I have an urgent matter to discuss with Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. He looks at you, and his last vestiges of restraint vanish. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtowed to the disloyal rabble. You believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them in with open arms and allow them to wreak havoc. They like, whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future at the helm of Von Valencia's Proctorate? Talk about... Should I call out Abelard for his nonsense? Why are you so angry? I solved the problem. Why did you have to be the one to do it? And did you consider what it might cost you? I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene. Remember, Lord Captain Theodora. Do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Proctorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if Theodora had spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There is a new Lord Captain aboard the ship now, and I will not repeat her mistake. As you stun and excel light, then he nods curtly. I commend your decisiveness, but I'm uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. And I will stare straight at attention. I lost my temper, Lord Captain. I believe I ought to explain myself. The prosperity of the Von Valencia's Proctorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds signs of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds, they create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers. I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods, to distant frontiers and scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Proctorate rested on my shoulders. And suddenly, everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The Rogue Trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I'm not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty bound to aid the new Rogue Trader, to aid you. Find your footing as quickly as possible, and to do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulation which procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. I think I'm gonna go with number 2. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord, Captain, and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world. A world where Theodore is gone, and where you and I have new decisions to make. Submarine Clan said, yes, Lord Captain. From suddenly adds looking at you with interest. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. So remember this moment, should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. Now, please let us leave the lower decks. The Rogue Trader desires to stretch his lake, there are far more suitable places. Oh, characters run selected. Okay. Not. No questions for now. I shall return later. Still curious about the one dude who's supposed to come and visit. Oh, look, the surfer is now T-posing. Surfers are no longer corpses, they are T-posing. What in the world is going on? I actually think I might be ending the stream here. It's a bit early than what I typically do, but when I typically end. But at the same time too, if I get caught up in anything else, it's kind of gonna take forever. Because by the time I do end stream, I barely have enough time to actually start another event, especially if it's going to be as long as Riccati Filia was. Especially if there's going to be a combat that requires me to restart because of Perils of the Warp whenever I'm at 0 Bell Degradation or a freaking Nimble Prisoner just shinking everyone. Something wasn't right about that fight. Something was screwed up. Hi, in progress, Proto. Boop beep. I guess, I don't know. Reporting, the Heralds of the Nav symbol continue to maintain Fox silence, perhaps due to Iraq 5 being off limits to visitors. Star signals and beacons drifting the station's orbit. The demands are clear. Return the ship around immediately. Also, deck accumulation of space debris near the station's dock. Presumably, this remains of interplanetary shuttles. Perhaps the steamed Navus Nibelite house requires aid, and therefore cannot respond to our Fox transmissions. Order the Augur crew to scan the station. Mr. Captain, Fox remains silent for a while, but then you hear static and measured voice. Officers from the Augur crew performed a scan of the station. The information is imprecise. They note wave distortions of unclear genesis that are throwing off most of the readings. We were able to ascertain that the reactor core of the station is still active, but many compartments are unpowered and some fully depressurized. The signs of biological activity are largely present in the central module, which means the station has not been abandoned. Which means, why are the steam navigator's heralds ignoring us? Contact the station again. I will negotiate personally. Sorry, Lord Captain, the station does not reply even after an official greeting by a Rouge Trader. The declaration of your intent to negotiate in person. I did not mean to activate this. So let's just load this autosave. Seen a Dreadnought yet? No. Not in the game. I'm still in the early parts.